Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, just got off New Japan World with New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom 16 Night 1. Oh my god, what a show this was. Yeah, it delivered like I thought it would be, like I said in the preview. Of my picks in the preview, I was 5 of 8. So I picked 5 winners, 3 I did not. The main and sub main I actually did not pick. I was actually kind of shocked about that. Yeah, like the IWGP Junior Heavyweight titles changed hands 8 straight Wrestle Kingdoms. It did not tonight, which is amazing. But everything else kind of fall into place like it should. The main event, it's the dream that I wanted, but I didn't think I was going to get. But now I get for tomorrow, so I cannot wait. I don't know about everyone else, but I took the morning off, took tomorrow morning off, so I can watch this, do my videos, then go to work. So yeah, I'm wearing my Rockin' the Ospreay shirt today. Of course, I mean, I think he's the best wrestler in the world, but hey, I'm kind of biased because I've been a fan of his for a long time. But yeah, let's get started in this review of this great show that we had, New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 16. This is the 50th anniversary of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Thank you, New Japan Pro Wrestling, for that. New Japan Rambo, this is for that trophy, I know, right? Provisional trophy. There's a 20-man battle royal. The final 4 go on to tomorrow to wrestle for the trophy, become the provisional champion, and then it gets, battle for it throughout the year. And at the end of the year, it's vacated basically, and they start over the next year. Yano has won the last 2 years. So we had, I'm not going to run down all 20, but just kind of your who's who of New Japan Pro Wrestling. The only big surprise was Sema from, where's he out of? China. He's also done a bunch of stuff in AEW, so it was good to see him there. Your final 4 going into tomorrow is Chase Owens. He was number 1. He was number 1 last year. Aaron Hanari was number 2. He's part of United Empire. And Chase Owens, Minoru Suzuki, that ought to be fun. Sema, that'd be fun. And Toru Yano. Yano is on there as well. I know last year Yano came out 20th, but there's only 3 people in the ring, so once he came out, he was automatically in the match. This year he actually had to get in the match and do things. It was a fun battle royal, I thought. I gave it 3 star. It wasn't too bad at all. But those 4 go on till tomorrow for the Fatal 4-Way for that King of Pro Wrestling trophy. Alright, main card. First match was Sho versus Yo. Roppongi 3K breaking up. Sho going with Bull Club, part of House of Torture, and then Yo kind of being still with Chaos. This was a good match, actually. Just like I said in the preview, I thought Dick Togo would get involved, which he did. The referee was distracted by Sho, and then Dick Togo kind of went after Yo. There were some good spots here. It was a good little match. I thought it'd be a little bit longer than it was, but even though Dick Togo got involved in helping Sho, Yo was able to rise above and go ahead and get the pinfall victory there. I gave it 3.5. Next up, we had the 6-man tag, kind of leading into tomorrow's. We had the Mega Coaches, Rocky Romero and Taguchi, teaming up with Hiroshi Tanahashi versus the Bullet Club, Kenta, and the Bullet Club's cutest tag team, El Phantasmo and Taiji Ishimori. Tomorrow night, on night 2, Kenta and Tanahashi have a no DQ match for the U.S. title. Well, that kind of no DQ rule for tomorrow night kind of got into this match a little bit. The ref got knocked down. Bullet Club started attacking Tanahashi with the kendo stick, or Kenta did. And then they obviously got rid of it before the referee came to. The referee got knocked down a second time. Tanahashi lost his cool. The Ace, you don't see the Ace do that very often. He lost his cool, and he was wailing on Kenta with that kendo stick. Well, when the referee came back in the ring, the Ace, instead of composing himself and going back in the match, he just lost it and just started attacking everyone with the kendo stick. Because of that, it's DQ'd. Bullet Club get the victory, which I thought actually would happen. That way it leads into tomorrow night, which probably more than likely then, because Bullet Club won tonight, Tanahashi will win tomorrow night. But this was the Bullet Club disqualification. I gave it 2 3/4 star. Next up, we had the 6-man tag. We had Los Ingobernables de Japón, LIJ, Bushi, Sanada, and Naito, Tetsuya Naito versus the Empire, Will Ospreay, the United Empire, excuse me, Will Ospreay, Great-O-Khan, Jeff Cobb. Different parts of the world have different members of the United Empire, which is great. I love how they're doing that. In the UK, it's Aussie Open and Will Ospreay. In New Japan, it's unfortunately Great-O-Khan, Jeff Cobb, Will Ospreay. In the US, you had TJP and Jeff Cobb. You take out Great-O-Khan. Honestly, Great-O-Khan can leave. He's just really very stiff, very kind of. He was the last 2 classes ago, Young Lions. He won an excursion in Rev Pro. I've not seen a lot from him. I just don't think he deserves to be in this faction with Ospreay and Jeff Cobb, to be honest with you. This looks like a good little match. I actually thought LJ was going to get the victory here, but because tomorrow night, Will Ospreay obviously wrestles for the IWGP World Heavyweight title. Great-O-Khan has a match against Naito, I believe, and then Cobb, is it Naito? No, Sonata versus Great-O-Khan, and then Naito versus Cobb tomorrow. But United Empire was able to get the victory here. Nothing really spectacular happened here. We just all know how talented these 5 of these 6 guys are. United Empire got the victory. I give it 3-star. Next up, we had Shibata Katsuno. Shibata, I guess, I didn't know this, he actually got hurt really bad. He actually had a brain hematoma and was not even actually even walk again at one point. He was able to rebound from that. He became, it was like in 2016, I think they said, 16 or 17. He was able to become a coach over the LA Dojo, and now he was able to rehab enough and get strong enough to come back to professional wrestling. I've heard the name before, talented guy. It's amazing here in 2021, 2022 now, we've had the return of guys that were career-ending injuries, Edge, Christian, Davey Richards. It's like, you got CM Punk back, you got Shibata back. It's just like amazing, just the dream matches of people who've been able to come back because of career-ending injuries, but the way technology has changed and they're able to get their bodies in shape to do it. But I want to see Shibata versus Punk. But yeah, it was an open challenge, but it was kind of a mystery opponent. I know I said in the preview a couple of the LA Dojo guys. TJP was one of the first class LA Dojo, and then Carl Fredericks, who I picked. It was actually another LA Dojo guy, Red Narita. But yeah, this is a good little match. It started out, it was supposed to be a catch wrestling match, so no strikes. But they ended up kind of making it a normal wrestling match during the show. Shibata looked great. Great submission. I want to see Shibata and Zack Sabre Jr. actually on a full match. They had that 5-minute match last year. But I think Shibata looks in pretty good shape. I think he's going to be able to go and be there for him. Shibata getting the victory. 3 1/4 I gave it. Next up, we had the Never Openweight title on the line. We had champion Tomohiro Ishii versus Evil. Again, Evil, part of Bull Club, which they're kind of a spin-off faction of House of Torture. This one had a lot of shenanigans going on. The ref got knocked out. Dick Togo takes out Ishii. The rest of the House of Torture show, and Yuki Takahashi come out and start beating on Ishii, and then Yo come out and took Show out. They kind of continued that feud a little bit. And then Evil ended up using the belt, hit Ishii. Obviously, Dick Togo had the referee distracted. And then when the referee got back in the ring, Ishii's laid out Evil for the pin. So Evil, your new Never Openweight champion. I give it 2 3/4 star. And then next up, we had the IWGP World Heavyweight Tag Team titles on the line. We had champions Dangerous Tekkers, Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi versus Chaos's Hiroshi Goto and Yoshihashi. They were the winners of the World Tag League. And for the last 8 years now, was it 8 years? Yeah. Previous 8 years, the winner of the Tag League has went on to Wrestle Kingdom to win the tag titles. Let's make that 9. Chaos goes on to win the tag titles here with Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi. This is a good match. I give it 3.5, but it wasn't one of those things where like, ooh, this happened, that happened. That, you know, it was just a good match between all four guys. Next up, to me, kind of a letdown actually. I think this match, it didn't give me what I was looking for. It wasn't long as I thought it would be. We had the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship on the line. We had the best of the Super Junior winners, Hiromu Takahashi versus champion El Desperado. 8 years in a row, the best of the Super Junior winner went on to Wrestle Kingdom to win the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. Nope, that streak is over. This match, El Desperado wrestled his game more of a mat-based, not a lot of top rope stuff. Hiromu does more. It seems like in the past he's done a lot more top rope stuff. And so they kept it on the ground a lot. Which, I mean, the match was still good, but it seemed like it drug a little bit to me. El Desperado was able to retain that title, which was kind of shocking. I give it 3 3/4. I mean, it was good. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't what I was expecting when Hiromu first won the Battle of the Super Juniors, when this match was happening. I was expecting a little bit more aerial stuff. All right, then the main event, the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship on the line. The G1 winner, Suzuki Okada, a 5-time World Heavyweight Champion, versus Shingo Takagi, a first-time World Heavyweight Champion. Kind of a guy, I don't say came out of nowhere, but he kind of did come out of nowhere. He was in the best of Super Juniors against Will Ospreay a couple years ago. Turned heavyweight like Will Ospreay did. You didn't realize how great this guy was until he's had some of these matches. It's like, holy hell. These two guys, I mean, just a vast array of style. We all know how smooth Okada is, especially that dropkick he does. He got the Rainmaker, he's got the money clip. He can do everything. Shingo is a lot, just pure power. I mean, he can do it. You know, he can do everything, top ropes, etc. too. But these two guys, just, I was expecting what I got, to be honest with you. I mean, there was a couple outside spots, which, you know, Red Shoes kind of lets go sometimes. There was one where Shingo went over the barrier. Okada gets a running start and there's a crossbody, just a beautiful crossbody over top of the railing. We had Shingo and Okada on the ramp. You got a power slam by Okada, or by Shingo, the power of Shingo there. Okada almost got counted out on that one. He was at 19, he got back in, because there's a 20 count in New Japan. But yeah, I mean, there was a couple other spots where every time Shingo was getting ready to do the Made in Japan, Okada was able to block it and do another offensive move. Early on, it seemed like Okada was hitting all the offensive moves, and Shingo was more, I won't say defense, but was just staying with him. And then there was a short little window there where Shingo just went all offense, and Okada barely was able to keep up. Okada went for the Rainmaker at one point, and Okada basically did his own version of the Rainmaker. It was just like unbelievable just how counter these guys were, just how in sync they were. This match was good, but to my surprise, we had new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Suzuki Okada. 4.5-star match of the year so far. So Okada is a 6-time heavyweight champion, 5 of the old title and 1 of this title. They kept making that point too. This title, the IWGP World Heavyweight title. The other one was just the IWGP Heavyweight title. One thing I said in the preview is I did not see Okada winning here because I see Mr. Will Ospreay leaving night 2 with the title. I think because he lost it because of injury, they're just going to give it back to him. Why not beat Shingo? That way you can only change the title once. Because in the history of New Japan Pro Wrestling, the IWGP titles, so that title began, I believe it was, let me look. Now this is the IWGP Heavyweight title that I'm looking up. This is the one that Okada actually brought out to the ring with him. He used it as the G1 case. It began in 1987. So from 87 to now is when the IWGP titles were in place. The lowest anybody has ever held that title, the old one, was 19 days. Now, we all know WWE, they will change the title in a day. They don't care. But yeah, the IWGP World Heavyweight, IWGP World title, the lowest it was ever held was 19 days. The current IWGP World Heavyweight title, Ibushi won it on the 49th anniversary show, and then Ospreay beat him at Genesis, and Ibushi only had 31 days. I wanted this match, Okada versus Ospreay, but I didn't. I wanted Ospreay to leave with the title. One thing, when Ospreay first came out with the United Empire, they pointed out he had the undisputed British heavyweight title around his waist. He had the IWGP World title around his neck. They didn't point out the fact that he had the British title on one side and then the Warrior Wrestling title on the other side. I was really hoping they would point the Warrior Wrestling title out, because it's not a title that a lot of people recognize. It's not a title that's really known, but the fact that he had it at Wrestle Kingdom, I thought was pretty cool. After Okada won the match, Ospreay came out. Okada went to cut a promo, Ospreay come out, and I just love how Okada was like, "Hey, fake champion, come back here." Oh my God, it was awesome. But yeah, I mean, it was a challenge for tomorrow night, which we all knew was going to happen. But we get Okada versus Ospreay night 2. This will actually be the 7th time that these two met. Now, we all remember, Will Ospreay was part of Chaos Faction with Will Ospreay. They wrestled in 2015 at the New Japan Red Pro Uprising. Okada won. At 2019 in New Japan Cup, Okada won. 2019 G1, Okada won. 2018, the 46th anniversary show, New Japan, Okada won. In 2020, in the G1, Ospreay won. Last year, Wrestle Kingdom, no title on the line. Okada, Ospreay, Okada won. This, to me, has been the dream matchup for main event at Wrestle Kingdom for a long time. Will Ospreay versus Kazuchika Okada. Okada champion for the title. I don't know if they're going to change it on one day like that, but it's like this to me in New Japan wrestling terms, in wrestling in general. This is the kind of match that people didn't believe in Will Ospreay until now. This will, to me, just skyrocket Will Ospreay even more to beat the great Rainmaker, a 6-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion, Kazuchika Okada. Probably one of the biggest stars in New Japan Pro Wrestling, Okada. The longest reigning champion in the history of New Japan, Okada. And Ospreay beat him at Wrestle Kingdom. Whew. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about tomorrow's show. But all right, that is New Japan Pro Wrestling, Wrestle Kingdom 16, Night 1 review. Stay tuned to Robert Sports Show for Night 2 tomorrow after the show. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show. And don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content.